Okay, let's try this last cubic equation sketching, and let's just see if we can do it. First it says calculate the coordinates of the intercepts of f. Well, there's f, and we know it's just the same thing. You let x equal 0, you get 0 and minus 28. That's the y-intercept, but the x-intercepts is more challenging. What do we have to do? We look for something that makes this 0. We try 1, it doesn't work, but minus 1 makes it 0. That means x plus 1 is a factor. You can write down x plus 1. You make it equal 0 here, and we're going to solve this. Dividing everything by a negative means change the sign of everything. And we know that x plus 1 is a factor, so we know that x squared has to go there to make x cubed. We know 28 has to go there because it's got to be 1 times 28. It says minus 10 squared. X times minus 11 is minus 11x squared. Oh, we've got 1x squared here, right? To get minus 10x squared, we're going to need a minus 11. That's why I knew to put minus 11, because we've got x squared. We've got to get down to minus 10 squared. That's why it's got to be minus 11. And that's so nice, because 4 times 7 is 28. They're both negative, and now we're looking at all our intercepts, minus 1, 4, and 7. And there they are. The computer gave it, minus 1 and 0. Now, when you sketch this thing, you wouldn't be able to sketch it right away. We've got the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. We need the turning points. You've got to label them really clearly, and I'll show at the very end what that should look like. But 1.2 is calculate the coordinates of the turning points. Well, that means you take the derivative of this thing. So you go 3 in front, you get minus 3x squared. 2 times 10 is 20x. 1 times minus 17, that derivative, that should just be a 17 there. That shouldn't be there. That x shouldn't be there. And it isn't here, right there. You see, it should just be minus 17, so ignore that x. But then we divide everything by negative 3, and wow, this one factors nicely. 3x times x is 3x squared. 17 times 1 it's a prime number. Hey, minus 17x minus 3x. There's my minus 20x. So x is equal to two things at the turning point. 17 over 3, make that equal 0. Solve, you get 17 over 3, or 1 minus 1. Now take 17 over 3 and put it in your calculator. That's 5 2/3, and you'll get 14.81 out. Put 1 in, and you'll get negative 36 out. And that's what the computer got. There's the local minimum at 1 and minus 36. There's the local maximum at 5 2/3, or 5.67, and 14.81. Now, when you do this graph here, you won't be able to do it perfectly like the computer, but you can get a y-intercept there. You can put a minus 1 there, put a 4 there, put a 7 there, and label the tops. When it's labeled, it should look like that. It should look like that. See, you label the axes, y and x. You label the x-intercepts. You label the y-intercept f there. And you label the turning points. Label the turning points. And then label the whole thing, f. Don't forget that. You don't want to lose marks for something like that. Now, the last question is a little bit challenging because it says determine the values of k for which, and then they give you this weird thing, plus k will have one real root. Well, everything here is the same. Why don't we just subtract 25 here, and we'd get a new function. It would look like this. But look at the first function. How are these different? Well, if I added 3 to f of x, it would turn into this new function. Now, what if we were doing this question? It was just f equals k. Well, then you would do it this way. You'd go, okay, you go up here. It's going to only have one real root up here. That means greater than 14.8. And it would have one real root down here. That's less than minus 36. Anything less than minus 36. But we're not talking about this one. They want to do the one with minus 25. So what we have to do is add 3. Just shift this whole thing up. Add 3. So you're going to have, instead of minus 36, you're going to have minus 33. Instead of 14.81, you're going to have 17.81. So the answer, this was a little bit tricky because we had to make that adjustment, is when k is less than minus 33, because it'll be this one moved up here, or it's greater than 17.81. If you didn't have that complication, it would be just less than minus 36 and greater than 14.81. There's the whole thing done.